Hey there, deep divers. Ever slip on a pair of shoes and think, someone's got to make sure these are top-notch?
Right.
Well, today, we're walking a mile
Yeah.
in the shoes of a footwear quality controller,
That's right.
prepping you to ace that interview and step into an awesome career.
We're not just talking about a comfortable fit here. We are diving deep into the world of quality control, tackling those interview curveballs,
Yeah,
and showing you how RoleCatcher can give you that extra edge.
because let's face it, job hunting can feel like its own obstacle course. We're
Mm.
here to map out the terrain so you can stride in with confidence.
Exactly. And you've come to the right place. We've got your interview guides, career overviews, and even a glimpse into how RoleCatcher uses AI to help you shine.
All right, let's kick things off with the role itself. What exactly does a footwear quality controller do?
Okay.
And why is it more than just checking for loose threads?
Yeah, it's about being the guardian of quality,
Right.
making sure every shoe that leaves the factory floor meets the highest standards. Think of it like this. You're part detective,
Right.
part scientist, and part customer advocate. You're inspecting materials, running tests, analyzing data,
Right.
and making sure the final product ticks all the boxes.
So you're the one making sure that my shoes won't fall apart during a dance-off.
Exactly.
Now that's a responsibility. I can get behind that.
And that's what those interview questions are designed to uncover: your attention to detail, your problem-solving skills, and your passion for quality.
Speaking of interview questions, let's jump right into our first sample question. It's a classic. Explain your experience with quality control in the footwear industry. Now, some of our listeners might be new to this field. What's the best approach here?
So think transferable skills. Even if you haven't worked specifically as a footwear quality controller, you've likely gained relevant experience elsewhere. Maybe you've worked in a restaurant ensuring food safety.
Right.
That attention to detail and process translates directly.
Right, because ensuring a perfectly cooked steak is not that different from inspecting a shoe stitching. When you think about it, it's all about maintaining those standards.
Exactly. Focus on those core principles of quality control: consistency, accuracy, attention to detail, and the ability to identify and address deviations from those standards.
And here's where RoleCatcher can lend a hand. Their AI resume builder can help tailor your experience to match specific job descriptions,
Yes.
making sure those transferable skills really pop.
Absolutely. It's like having a personalized resume assistant highlighting those hidden gems in your work history.
Okay, let's lace up for question number 2. How do you ensure that footwear products meet quality standards? This feels like where the rubber meets the road.
Okay.
Or should I say, where the sole meets the shoe.
You got it. This is where your knowledge of the industry comes into play. Don't be afraid to get specific. Talk about the different types of inspections visual, using tools like magnifying glasses or microscopes, and even lab tests to check for durability and material composition.
It's about showing them you're not just going to glance at a shoe and call it a day, right? You understand the depth and the breadth of what goes into ensuring quality.
Exactly. And don't forget about the importance of customer feedback. A key part of quality control is understanding what customers are saying about the product and using that feedback to drive improvements.
That's a great point. It's about the bigger picture, connecting those quality checks with what actually matters to the people wearing the shoes.
Absolutely. And this could lead to a follow-up question like, can you give an example of a time you identified a quality issue and how you resolved it? Be prepared to showcase your problem-solving skills with a specific, concise example.
Okay, mental note, have a good story ready to go. Now, this next question feels like it's designed to test your decision-making skills. Question 3. How do you handle a situation where a product does not meet quality standards?
This is about showcasing your judgment, communication skills, and ability to follow protocols. You want to emphasize that you understand the importance of following established procedures when dealing with quality issues.
So it's not about panicking or trying to sweep problems under the rug.
Definitely not. It's about approaching the situation calmly and methodically. Exactly. Start by explaining that you'd follow the company's established protocols for documenting and reporting the issue. But don't stop there.
Right, because blindly following the rules isn't always enough.
Yeah.
You need to show you can think critically, too.
Precisely. This is a chance to highlight your communication and problem-solving skills. Mention that you'd communicate the issue clearly and respectfully to the relevant teams,
Yeah.
whether it's production, design, or even management.
Because a quality control bottleneck helps no one right.
Exactly. You're aiming for a collaborative approach, finding solutions that maintain quality standards without unnecessary delays.
This feels like another good spot for a real-life example. Maybe a time you identified a flaw in a design or a material, And your proactive approach saved the day.
Absolutely. Having those stories prepped and ready to go can make a huge difference in an interview.
It's about showing them you're not just talking the talk, you've walked the walk.
Mm.
Or inspected the insole in this case.
Mm.
Okay, let's move on to question number 4. How do you stay up to date on industry trends and regulations related to footwear quality control?
Yeah.
This one's all about demonstrating your commitment to continuous learning. The footwear industry is constantly evolving, with new materials, technologies, and regulations popping up all the time. Employers want to see that you're passionate about staying ahead of the curve.
So how do you show that? I mean, I can barely keep up with my social media feeds, let alone an entire industry's worth of news.
Right. Start with the basics: trade publications, industry websites, professional organizations related to footwear or quality control.
So doing your homework, basically.
Yeah.
But it's more than just reading, right? Exactly. Mention attending webinars, conferences, or even online forums where professionals share insights and discuss emerging trends.
And I bet following relevant hashtags and influencers on social media can't hurt either.
Absolutely. It's about demonstrating that you're actively engaging with the industry and seeking out knowledge wherever you can find it.
Okay, deep divers, we're cruising through these questions. Now, this next one might sound a bit intimidating. Can you discuss your experience with conducting root cause analyses?
Don't let the jargon throw you off. Root cause analysis is basically detective work for quality control.
I like it. So instead of just slapping a bandage on a problem,
Right.
you're figuring out what caused the problem in the first place.
Exactly. It's about identifying the root cause of a quality issue, not just addressing the symptoms. Think of it like this. If your sink is leaking, you don't just mop up the water. You figure out if it's a loose pipe, a clogged drain, or maybe even a mischievous houseplant with a watering can.
Okay, I'm not sure about the house
Yeah.
plant, but I get your point.
Yeah.
So how do we translate this into a winning interview answer?
Be prepared to walk them through a specific example from your own experience. Maybe you were tasked with figuring out why a particular batch of shoes had a higher than usual defect rate. How did you approach the problem? What tools or methods did you use to investigate?
And most importantly, what did you discover? I love a good detective story.
Exactly. Highlighting your analytical and problem-solving skills through a real-life example is key here.
Okay, next question, and this one's for all the lab enthusiasts out there. Can you discuss your experience with conducting lab tests on footwear products?
Now, not everyone will have extensive lab experience, and that's okay.
Because not all of us are rocking a white lab coat and safety goggles in our spare time.
Exactly. If you do have direct experience conducting specific lab tests relevant to footwear, like material testing or quality control assessments, be sure to highlight those.
But what if you're more familiar with the theoretical side of things?
That's perfectly fine, too. Emphasize your understanding of the importance of lab testing in ensuring quality. Discuss your knowledge of different testing methods and why they're used.
So even if you haven't personally run the tests, you understand the why behind them and how they contribute to the bigger picture of quality control.
Exactly. You can even mention your eagerness to learn new techniques and expand your knowledge in a lab setting.
Because a willingness to learn goes a long way. Okay, on to question 7. How do you ensure that quality control processes are consistent across different production runs? This feels like it's about standardization and creating a well-oiled machine, right?
You got it. Consistency is key in quality control. You want to assure the interviewer that you understand the importance of standardized procedures, clear documentation, and effective training.
So that every shoe that comes off the production line meets those same high standards no matter what.
Precisely. You could talk about your experience with implementing or following standard operating procedures, creating checklists, or even developing training materials for new employees.
It's about showing them you're a stickler for details, and you understand that quality isn't a matter of luck. It's about having robust systems in place.
Exactly. And this ties back to the use of AI and technology and quality control that we touched upon earlier.
Right, because having those digital systems in place can help ensure consistency and track data across different production runs.
Yeah.
It's like having a digital paper trail for quality.
Exactly. And this is where a tool like RoleCatcher can be incredibly valuable. Their AI can analyze job descriptions and identify keywords related to those digital skills, making sure your resume and cover letter reflect that you're tech-savvy and ready to embrace those tools.
Talk about a smart way to stay ahead of the curve. Okay, let's tackle question number 8. Can you discuss a time when you had to make a difficult decision related to quality control? This one feels like it's less about technical skills and more about your judgment and integrity.
Absolutely. This is a classic behavioral interview question designed to see how you handle challenging situations.
So no pressure then.
The key here is to choose a real-life example that showcases your decision-making process, your ethical compass, and your ability to handle pressure.
But without throwing anyone under the bus, right? We're not trying to air any dirty laundry here.
Definitely not. Think about a time when you had to balance competing priorities, maybe meeting a deadline versus upholding quality standards, or dealing with a demanding client while still adhering to company protocols. Think about what factors you considered, how you weighed the options, and how you ultimately arrived at your decision.
And don't forget to mention the outcome. Did your decision save the day? Did you learn a valuable lesson?
Exactly. It's all about showing that you can think critically under pressure, make tough calls, and learn from your experiences.
Okay, deep divers, we're on the home stretch. Our final interview question is all about the customer. How do you ensure that quality control processes are aligned with customer needs and expectations?
This one's crucial. It's not enough to just create a technically sound product. You need to make sure it actually meets the needs and expectations of the people who will be using it.
Because a hiking boot might be super durable, but if it feels like you're wearing bricks on your feet, no one's going to be happy.
Exactly. So you want to emphasize that you understand the importance of customer feedback, market research, and industry trends in shaping those quality control processes.
So it's about connecting those technical checks with the things customers actually care about. Comfort, durability, functionality, even style.
Absolutely. Mention that you'd stay informed about customer reviews, industry publications, and even social media to understand what's important to the people wearing the shoes.
It's like being a quality control detective, A&D, a customer advocate, all rolled into one. Now, we've covered a lot of ground here, from specific interview questions to those broader career insights. Before we wrap up, any final words of wisdom for our aspiring footwear quality controllers out there?
Remember, a successful interview is a two-way street. Come prepared with thoughtful questions for the interviewer about the company culture, career growth opportunities, or even specific challenges within the role.
Asking questions shows you're curious and engaged, not just waiting for that offer letter.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of enthusiasm. Let your passion for quality shine through.
Because at the end of the day, they're not just hiring a set of skills, they're hiring a person.
Absolutely. And speaking of putting your best foot forward, RoleCatcher can be an invaluable tool throughout this entire process. Their AI can help you identify your strengths, tailor your resume and cover letter to specific job descriptions, and even practice your interview answers with personalized feedback.
It's like having a career coach and a cheerleader all in one. And for those just starting out, there's a free version to get you started.
Exactly. So no matter where you are in your career journey, RoleCatcher can help you navigate the job search process with confidence.
Well, deep divers, there you have it. We've walked you through the ins and outs of acing that footwear quality controller interview, from those nitty-gritty technical questions to showcasing your soft skills and passion for quality.
Remember, preparation is key. Take the time to understand the role, research the company, and practice your answers. And with a little help from RoleCatcher's AI-powered tools, you'll be well on your way to landing that dream job.
So go out there, put your best foot forward, and show them what you're made of. Until next time, deep divers, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those shoes shined. We'll catch you in the next deep dive.